Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Mid City School. Class 2, today it is your English grammar lesson and the topic we are going to discuss is present and past tenses. Turn on to page number 26, chapter number 9, and the topic is verbs, present and past tenses. In this topic, we are going to learn what a tense is and how it tells about the time, the action done. The tense of a verb shows the time when an action is or was done. A verb tells us what somebody or something does or has done. A verb also tells us when that something is done or was done. A verb not only tells us about an action, it also tells us about the time of that action. Is it something that happens now, or is it something that has already happened in the past? Now this means the first subtopic, which is a verb tells us what somebody or something does or has done, means that when we look at a sentence, we can find out that what has been happening in the sentence or what somebody or something has been doing. In the second part, we see a verb also tells us when what something is done or was done. By looking at the verb in a sentence, we can see when that action has been done or is it still happening. A verb not only tells us about an action, but it tells us when that action has happened or is happening at that moment. So in a verb, you can see what action has been done at what time. So the time there shows is called by the name tense. Let's understand. Now here you can see the examples. This says mother cooks biryani. Mother cooked biryani yesterday. Tahir walks to school. Tahir walked to school last Monday. In sentence A and C, as you can see here, the verbs cook, cooks and walks refer to an action that do now or at present. Now this cooks and walks, these two verbs over here in sentence A and C, they tell us that this particular action is happening now, or we call it's happening at present. Some actions which happen now can be called by the name present. So this is called the present tense. In sentence B and D, the verbs cooked and walked. Here can you see? Cooked and walked refer to an action that Mother and Tahir did yesterday or last Monday. That is in the past. Now these verbs, cooked, walked, now they show something which has been happening. Now this verb shows that this has been happening yesterday or last Monday. So the time shown here is in the past. The verb cooks and walks is in the present tense. The verb cooked and walked is in the past tense. Past tense. To form the past tense of a verb, we usually add ed to the verb. As you can see on the screen, this is a verb, help. To make it show as past tense, we add the word ed here. Help plus ed becomes helped. The word helped here is the past tense of the word help. Same goes here. Play plus ed, played. Played is the past tense of play. Climb plus ed becomes climbed. Climbed is the past tense. Wash plus ed, washed. And this is the past tense. Push plus ed becomes pushed. Crawl plus ed becomes crawled. Here again we learn how to form the past tense. Now here this is the second rule that is implemented here. As you can see, the word slip here, when we add ed to the word slip, the last alphabet of this word doubles here. As you can see, it becomes slipped. The spelling shows that the last letter of the base form verb, the last letter doubles here. We are going to learn the last letter of some verbs are doubled when ed is added to them. Stop. Stop. Now this is the base form of verb. When we add ed and when we want it to become the past tense, we have to put in the letters ed plus we have to double the last word here. The P becomes double P. Stopped. S-T-O-P-P-E-D. Drop plus ed becomes dropped. D-R-O-P-P-E-D. Trim plus ed becomes trimmed. Clap plus ed becomes clapped, and fit plus ed becomes fitted. So this is also a rule when we change the present tense verb into past tense. The last letter of the verb doubles. It becomes double, and then we add ed to it. Again here we have another rule to change the verb into past tense. Add d to the following verbs to form their past tense, as you can see here. When there is a verb which already ends with an e. Now can you see? Bake, B-A-K-E. The last letter is E, So there is no need to add another E to it, but then we only add the letter D and it becomes a past tense baked. Lie plus D, lied. Agree plus D, agreed. Blame plus D, blamed. Issue plus D, issued. Love plus D, loved. As you can see, all these verbs are ending with an E, so there is no need to add another E, but we only add the letter D to form a past tense. I hope you have all understood what is the present tense and past tense and how we change a word into past tense by adding ed or adding only d to the verb or adding ed and doubling the last letter. We will learn more from this chapter, which is present to past, on page number 29, but we will be learning it in the next video. Till then, Allah Hafiz.